Hello and welcome. This is the Bar Bites podcast with Dimi and Victor and myself, Istvan. So this podcast is about hospitality in general and beyond hospitality. Let me introduce my host, Dimi, who is going to introduce himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dimitar Dimitrov. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Bulgaria. I've been in the hospitality industry for almost 16 years, 10 of them in London. So it's been quite a crazy journey, to be honest. Now let me pass the mic to Victor.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Victor Bittencourt Graven. I am from Brazil, and I've been working in hospitality for about 6 or 7 years, all in London, especially central London. And it's been interesting.
All right, it's nice to see you guys here. I think it's going to be an exciting podcast, to be honest, because I think all our listeners are kind of bartenders, chefs, all kind of hospitality personas. So they would like to hear more nice stories and all behind the bar kind of thing. So what you guys think about it?
Oh, absolutely, man. We have a lot to tell.
I'm sure Victor has some nice stories as well, how many years spent behind bars and all kind of that thing. So I want to hear, for example, how many years you spent in hospitality and what kind of places you worked for and all that.
So I've been working for about 6 years, like I said before, and I started as a back of the house, and I now the last job I was in, I was they called me a head bartender, even though I'm not really that. But yeah, if you work in hospitality, you know how it goes. And we have crazy stories, we have boring days, we have cool things working behind the bar. Some creativity stuff, which is interesting. Some interaction with people, which is interesting. This kind of stuff. Let's go.
I actually met Victor behind the bar. That's how we became friends. Yeah, we used to work in the same place. My second job in London, I started, and then a few months later on, he started. Since then, we've been working together 3 times in 3 different restaurants, I think. Or even more.
Probably more than that. Probably
it's been a wild journey, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think altogether we have 3 decades of hospitality experience, and it's not easy, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's I think we are all kind of over 30, and we've been working at bars for a long time. So it gave us the kind of stamina, and it's not easy to still working at bars. So I was kind of thinking to introduce myself as well.
Oh, please do.
In a way. So I have 12 years experience in hospitality. I came to London, I was washing dishes. I was a commis waiter, and then after a year I happened to be a bartender. I didn't know what gin and tonic is and all that. And I actually had a Brazilian lady who was kind of helping me out, and she was kind of mentoring me to become a bartender. And then I moved to a bigger company called Corbin & King, quite well known. Jeremy King, who is kind of a iconic restaurateur in London. So I spent 5 years there, and then I moved to my current company, which is Cora Pearl and Kitty Fishers. And I've been a bar manager for 5 years. So it's been a great kind of experience. And that's all about me. And now I would like to pass the mic to Dimi, who will tell us about himself, hopefully.
Oh my God, it was such a long journey. So I started back in 2009, I think. I was 15 years old. So 2 bartenders from a bigger city came to my high school, and they did some flair bartending shows. So I really fell in love in flair bartending. So then I started learning the cocktails, and I wanted to learn everything about the business, basically. I eventually got a job as a barback, washing glasses, polishing, cleaning the bar, then got promoted to a bartender. It was crazy story. And I was doing competitions as well in flair bartending since age of 17, which I was quite young. Then I moved to London when I was the age of 21. I couldn't speak English very well, so I had to start everything all over again. And my first job was in Witherspoons, which was crazy experience, absolutely mental. But everything's with time. You grow older, and then you start finding better opportunities. You get more experience, which is helping you develop professionally. So it was amazing. I mean, I've done everything between barback and operations manager, basically. Currently, I run my own company as a CEO. It's called AlbinoBarSolutions. We do hospitality consulting. It's me and my wife. So yeah, and I'm doing social media on the site, obviously. Videos and stuff. You can check it out on TikTok and most of the social media platforms. So yeah.
Sounds good to me. I think I saw your TikTok last time throwing bottles around, and it was quite amazing.
I hope you like it. I wish more people liked it too.
Don't worry, man. Time will tell.
One day.
Time will tell. You just have to be consistent, and I'm sure the right audience will find you. So let's jump into Victor. How about you, man? How did you end up in hospitality, and how did you end up in the UK actually from that part of the world, which is Brazil?
Yes, everything that people love about Brazil, carnival, football, and samba, I hate it. So I need to get out of that. And my sister came here a couple of years before me. She's been here for 15 years, I think. And so I had the opportunity to come. I have a EU passport, so I came before Brexit. And I needed a job when I came in. I was younger, 20 years old, and looking for something. And the first thing that popped up was a job. We went to drink in a traditional pub, and my sister just went, "Hey, looking for a hire guy?" And the guy said, "Yeah, give me your CV." So I made up a CV. My English was all right. No, I didn't need to learn it. I had it before. And I just started working back at the house in a traditional place by Blackfriars Bridge. It was very interesting. That's where I met Dimi, and I learned a lot of things there. He taught me a lot of things. That's why we became good friends, because we appreciated the way each other work. And we went from there. And every time I needed a new job, I'll just let him know, and he'd be like, yeah, come work with me, man. And we've been working together for almost as long as I've been working hospitality, basically.
That's nice to hear, guys. So that's why we are here. This is how I met Dimi as well. Our current workplace.
Oh my God, everyone met
We
Dim
met,
in a restaurant. That's crazy.
Seems like you live in it, no?
24/7.
So the question is, right now, which I'm sure many of us would like to hear, why three guys from behind the bar starting a podcast? What's the purpose? Like, why these guys doing a podcast? What's the plan? Where you guys are heading? I'm sure this is in your mind, so let me kind of introduce you the plan behind it, and I pass the mic to Dimi.
In my opinion, so the industry is changing, and we need to progress. We need to keep up with the new trends, and I'm sure we're all millennials here, so we are the older generation of bartenders, basically, because we're over 30. So my idea personally is to pass my experience to the younger generations, because I don't think there are very long time left until AI is gonna take over, and maybe we're gonna have like automated bars, so there's no stuff in there. You just go get a drink, the robot makes it for you. This obviously is not gonna be in the very near future, but there are not gonna be many generations left working in hospitality. And I've noticed recently Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they most of them don't want to work in hospitality or retail in that matter, because the job is very difficult and it's not very financially competitive. So you cannot become a millionaire working behind the bar. but it can give you a great future, great start in life. So this is my way to show people. It's
That's
not
nice.
just serving. You can do so much more. You can become brand ambassador if you don't want to work behind the bar. You can be manager. You can start your own restaurant or your own bar. Or you can even do a training school for bartenders or waiters or even chefs as well. So there's always big possibilities. I'm thinking a lot of young people don't know this. So maybe we can show them the way with this podcast.
Yes. And Victor, how do you see this perspective?
I think the new generation is not interested in working in general, but I guess it makes sense that a work, a job that it needs dedication in a way and constant learning as well. I mean, it's gonna be more difficult for them. It doesn't seem interesting. I think if there was more a way to inspire them, it would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many different, aspects we can consider when it comes to, in my opinion, when it comes to working in hospitality in general, But I think it can give you the flexibility. This is why I have chosen kind of hospitality because, for example, in a 9 to 5, you go Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. That's it. There is no flexibility in there.
It's quite boring as well.
But in a restaurant, you can choose your own shifts. You can be off on Tuesday, Wednesday if you wanted to. You can be off on the weekends. You choose kind of your own hours if you are in the right spot. I mean, obviously, if you need to work 60 hours a week in a 5-star hotel, that's a different story because you're gonna work 7 days a week. 6 a.m. till 2 a.m. It happened with me as well. It's not easy, but we can decide which kind of institution we would like to work in.
You can balance it out as well, kinda, if you work with the right people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you work with the right people, but I think nowadays you can kind of pick where you want to work because kind of thanks for COVID, it gave us the option to choose, I don't know how you guys see this.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of opportunities out there, especially if you're in a big city like metropolitan city like London, for example. It's so huge and diverse. Last time I've checked, it was around 14 to 15,000 restaurants operating at the moment. Not all of theirs are bars or nightclubs, or some of them are chicken shops, for example. So you can actually choose exactly what you want to do and what you want to learn. And it's a great perspective for young people as well. You can start as a barback and with a spoons, let's say. I think they call it bar associate or something like that. But then you can move to a bigger pub. And eventually, if you don't want to work in pubs, you can go to a cocktail bar because you have some background experience about drinks. So it's always an option. And then you grow yourself to a manager. And at some point, if you're actually tired of being like working nighttime or doing double shifts, you can try to apply work in a head office and then run a group of restaurants, can become an area manager or operations manager in that matter.
Yeah, but what if someone doesn't have the ambitions to become a manager? What do you think, Victor?
I was actually going to say something else. I'm thinking about this in the context of Brazil. Going back now in a couple of months, and I was thinking exactly what he was saying about this huge opportunity. You can work in every different place and everything. We do have a restaurant culture in Brazil, but bars like here, where you have every corner, you have a bar, like a traditional pub. It's not exactly like that. We have more like this. How do you say? Simpler bar. You just sell a bottle, sort of like a off license, but with you can stay there. So I'm thinking in that way, and I think obviously it's different Brazil from America and England because they have a cocktail culture, right? In American England, which is basically where most of us here fall into. Sorry, what was your question?
So, like we were talking about, like the different ambitions, like becoming a manager, and what if someone doesn't have the ambition?
In your opinion, is it easier in Brazil to progress or it's easier in the UK?
I don't think
Professionally, I mean, in hospitality.
no, I don't think. I mean, we do have Brazil is a bit different, right? I cannot say enough because I haven't worked there. But what I'm thinking that I've seen there is that there's not a lot of places for cocktail bar. There is like nightclubs and everything, but it's not like we do classic cocktails like here. They're house cocktails and stuff like that. So it's a bit different. And about the ambition, yeah, I think you need to have an ambition. It's not just about the money. You need to enjoy managing people because it can be even more stressful. You can work even more hours than you're working as a bartender. Some people, given like their experience, they could literally manage the bar by themselves, and they choose not to because it's so much stressful. It's much more stressful because you have to deal with your own people and the customers. And again, it's not just about ambition. Obviously, everybody wants to get paid more, but in the case of a manager, you also have much more responsibility. You know better than me about this, Ivan.
Yes.
I got a question for everyone actually. In your opinion, guys, how do we stay competitive and on level in such a dynamic industry? Because everything is changing every year. We have different trends. Now I can see more and more people on TikTok, for example, or YouTube. They're not actual bartenders, but they're doing cocktails at home and get millions of views and make a lot of money. And in the same time, you have super professional, experienced mixologists and flair bartenders working behind the bar, and they make much less. It's not really fair, is it? It's very
If
different.
I can say something, I think competitiveness is about attention. Like you mentioned, like so many people make cocktails at home and they get like lots of views and stuff like that. I think those people, they know how to get attention better than, for example, the ones who are professionals working there behind the bar. They have years and they can drop the bottles and stuff like that. You know, I can't. That's fine. But those people know how to attract other people, you know? So I think that's what differentiates them between the professional bartenders and the kind of at-home bartenders, in my opinion. But staying competitive in the industry, that's a hard question to answer, to be honest. I'm curious to know about Victor, to be honest.
Well, about the non-experienced people working, in social media and making more money. I mean, this is the nature of social media. The guy has a hobby. He found a niche. He could have started as a hobby, and then he just grew into something entertaining that people want to watch. I mean, he gets the money. What can you say? Plus, there's other thing. If someone is working, I don't know, let's say 40, 50 hours, like we all here have done before, in a restaurant, when you get home, you're not gonna make a show about making cocktails. I mean, you're very working making cocktails like 50 hours a week. It's a bit difficult. I mean, it can be done, obviously. I mean, you could swap from one to the other. Maybe that's a good idea.
I'm doing it from time to time.
Well, we can see it from experience right now, right here, because Dimi and actually we are kind of doing it, you know. We've been spending our day off to film ourselves, doing kind of interviews, you know, sharing our experiences and all that. So that's why we are here as well, even right now. So I think it is possible, but not with 50, 60 hours, because we have to say we don't really work like 50, 60 hours, thanks God.
Not
So-
anymore,
Yeah.
though.
But
But
that's what I meant. It's if you're working 50 hours and you're already tired, how can you get home and do another show with more cocktails and do all the prep? You guys know better than me. You're doing all this stuff. It takes time.
It's hard to balance it out sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's. I
And
mean, the
people
guy.
have very high expectations as well. So you work, let's say, 12 hours today, then you need to go home, make a great video, choose the best music. When you're tired, your brain doesn't work as great as when you work 6 hours, for example. So that's a huge factor as well.
But I think in my opinion, if you have that dream, if you have that vision in your mind, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you will find the time. Because we are here today, you know. We made the time on our day off or even after shift or whatever. Victor made his time, you, Dimi, as well. So I think with the right vision and right passion, you can always find time for expressing your opinion. And I would love to close this first episode with all of this with you guys, because I think we covered kind of a lot of topics, and we would like to keep some for the upcoming episodes as well. So thank you, Dimi, for being a host
Thank you for
with
having
me. And we are very excited for the upcoming episodes, as I said. And we are grateful for Victor for make the time to be here and share his observations with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. See you later.